May I now take the privilege of calling upon our chief guest, Honorable Union Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Shri Gajendra Singh Sekhawat, to kindly deliver his speech.
Honorable Finance Minister of Mizoram, Lalsawta, the Secretary of Financial Departments in the Government of Mizoram, the General Manager of SBI, Mr. Digmanu Gupta, all the senior officials present here, the DC, and all the bank officials, and my dear brothers and sisters from Mizoram. First of all, I would like to apologize for being late by given time. I landed in Guwahati late in evening yesterday, and I was supposed to come here by a chopper. But the weather clearance, which was supposed to be given at 8 o'clock in the morning, was provided at 9:30, so the chopper took off late, and I could come to you a little late. I should confess the pride in my heart while addressing you from this great hill state. I should further say that as a Minister of Agriculture, it fills my heart with pride to notice that Mizoram is one of the few states in India where a small movement created to solve the agriculture crisis took after the devastating Mizoram famine in 1960, is a major political player in the country now. And as a partner to the National Democratic Alliance, NDA, I not only acknowledge their dedication, but also invite them to share any input possible on betterment of the agri-infrastructure in the state. And I also assure that the best of the help from my ministry and Government of India will be provided. Before I start talking about today's program, I wish to divide the name Mizoram, where the Ram stands for the land of the Mizo, the great warriors. But in the northern part of India, where I come from, the Ram stands for our primary deity. And so, what better than a story from Lord Ram to explain the philosophy behind Mudra Yojana. There was a very poor tribal lady in the period of Ramayana. Her name was Shabri. She used to live in a jungle, in a small village in a jungle. And the tribal lady, she had a great belief in her mind that one day Lord Rama will come here to meet me. And out of this faith, she used to think that of what I am going to offer when he will come to my place to meet me or give me darshan. She used to go to the jungle and collect berries from the shrubs. But she had a doubt in her mind whether the berries are sweet or not. She used to taste those berries and put the sweetest berries in a box. in anticipation that one day that Lord Rama will come and I'll offer those berries, those sweet berries to him. And during Vanvasa, when Lord Rama visited her village, so many sages and the saints and the rishis, they came to meet and see Lord Rama. But Lord Rama, he kept them waiting. And he directly went to the Shabri, the tribal lady. She was so happy. And she offered those tested berries, took out from the box, and she offered those berries to Lord Rama. All the sages, the saints, the rishis, and the younger brother of Lord Rama, Lakshman, they were surprised to see. Because the tasted berries, they are not supposed to be offered to the god or the senior people. They are considered impure. After he met Shabri and all those present there, the sages and the younger brother of Ram, Lakshman, they questioned Rama for eating those tested berries, impure berries. He said, I haven't seen the purity of the berries. I have realized the purity in the soul, in the heart of that tribal lady. I have seen the emotions of the tribal lady. And this is, I'm narrating this story to you because it perfectly encapsulates our government's philosophy behind our all financial schemes. We want to empower the Shabris of today, women of marginalized society, women of marginalized community, like one Shabri belonged to. People who are dedicated and devoted towards their craft, but need small handholding from the government to grow and to make their life better. Lord Rama knew the purest dedication lies not with the sages, but with the humble lady, humble tribal woman, and thus he was driven towards her. Similarly, our government, Narendra Modi's government, knows that the real power of economy, it lies not in the hands of the big corporates, but in the hands of small entrepreneurs, the small entrepreneurs like you, who has been given the loan in this program, or who has been awarded the loan and got benefited out of the loan disbursed to them. The movies and the success stories were displayed here. And just like Shabri, who helped Lord Rama when she offered berries, she introduced her and she told him about the Sugriv, the brother of Bali, who fought with him with Ravan in the great war. And just like Shabri, our government have decided to fight of today's demons, the corruption, the party, the informal moneylenders, and above all, the disparity in the society on the ground of economy. I will take another example of modern day Shabri from Mizoram, Lalfak Zuali, I have read. She was dreaded with 3 words in Mizo language, Ka Ma Che. She was divorced by her husband, Talak. Talak, 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 triple talak. Far from being devastated and stated, she started a weaving business, and now over the time she is the owner of 5 looms and employ many women under her. Just half a year ago, she took a loan from Mudra Yojana, and now she is scaling up her business and providing employment to so many women. It is a success story like this that make a government more excited about our outreach programs, more than economic indicators. If success can be gauged by successful stories and case stories, it fills our heart with pride and encouragement. When the country goes through a phase of transformation, as our country is going to, it encounters many milestones. The character of a nation's development depends upon the character of the leader who leads it. If we look at the very foundation of central government, you shall find that Modi government doesn't plan for the next elections. It plans for the nation. It doesn't plan for the running a nation or ruling the nation. He worked tirelessly for transformation of the country, transformation of the nation. Our policies have been framed keeping India as being a superpower in coming 10 years. And as our beloved Prime Minister have stated, that by 2022, India will be a new India, and he has hailed entire nation, all the 125 crore people of the country to come along for the development of the country, for the transformation of the country. As it is told about the Jan Dhan Yojana, when he took over as a Prime Minister in month of May 2014, and soon after on the day of independence in 2014, from the ramparts of Lal Killa, he announced the program Jan Dhan. And he announced from the ramparts itself that we are going to open 10 crore accounts in the period of 6 months. All the critics sitting in the country or outside the country, they had doubt in their mind. They said it is impossible. They said the banking infrastructure in the country is inadequate. It is not possible for the banks to open 10 crore accounts in such a small time. And when I come to Mizoram and I see the difficult terrain here, in entire north states, or I go to my place which I represent, I saw some of the people sitting here were just trying to give some air because they are feeling hot, and I come from the place where the temperature, it is today, the temperature must be around 48 degrees centigrade. And a deep desert, barren lands. The people have a doubt in their mind that it is not possible to open 10 crore accounts. It is not possible to reach the banks there to the people sitting in the remote villages, in the jungles, in the deserts, on the hills. But I must thank our banking system and our banking officials at this pride movement that they worked tirelessly under the guidance of our Prime Minister and our beloved Finance Minister Arun Jaitley ji. We not only achieved the target which was set by the Prime Minister, we exceeded, and in the short period of 6 months, we could open more than 11 crore accounts. And if I speak today, the banks have opened more than 30 crore accounts in Jan Dhan Yojana, and the poor people, they have deposited almost 90,000 crore rupees and trusted the banks. By this program, I was just going through the data of Mizoram. In Mizoram state, More than 2.81 lakhs accounts were opened. And when I see, I was just discussing the population demography and population statistics of the state. There are only 11 lakh people putting up in this state, living in this state, and 3 lakhs accounts have been opened by the banks during this Jan Dhan Yojana. 99% of the, more than 99% of the households in the country today have a bank account. The people who haven't seen the banks, they were not aware about the banks. They are now having bank accounts, and we have given them a RuPay card. We have facilitated them with a RuPay card. They can anytime actually go to the bank or access the ATM for their financial requirement, financial needs. Even apart from the bank accounts, we have given social security and insurance of rupees 1 lakh to all the account holders who have opened their account during with the program. But now this was a start. Then our Prime Minister, he announced a scheme for the social security of the people of India. Just imagine a poor man. He works as a laborer in a factory or on the road in a construction business. I met with an accident and he passed away. Just imagine. He has a son or a daughter in his family. Old parents are there in the family and the wife. What will be the fate of them? Because he was the only man earning in the family. He'll have to go. He'll have to beg for their livelihood. But by that scheme, or by depositing only 12 rupees a month, 12 rupees a year, 1 rupee a month, which is I think lesser than the cost of a cup of tea, he can get insured. And because we had Jan Dhan and we had a coverage of banking system, we could insure more than 11 crore people by that Yojana, by that insurance scheme in a small period of time. The story doesn't stop ends here because it was a big. You might be knowing or you might be remembering the words of one of the Prime Minister of India when he said that that only 15% of the money which we send from Delhi, it reaches to the right man, right person. And when I flew from Guwahati to Mizoram, I have seen the difficult terrains. I think I was wondering that it might be the difficult terrains of the roads where the money goes or it spills off. But it was not the case. The middlemen who used to snatch that money, just to stop our government, because we had a banking coverage, we started delivering the direct benefit transfers. And now I can say with the pride that almost 74,000 crore rupees in 33 crore accounts have been directly transferred as a benefit from the government schemes. This is the power of the banking. This is the power of the banking facilities. This is the power of the banking network which we access to the bank which we have as on day. But story doesn't end here. Because we had a banking coverage and network, and to provide banking coverage, we had to start open around 23,000 new branches throughout the country, and around 1.5 lakhs banking correspondents, which got employment because of this scheme. And thereafter, this Yojana, for the campaign for which we are here, the Mudra Yojana. Then just imagine a young boy from a middle class or lower middle class family, or a young boy from a very poor background. he just got to learn how to repair a mobile, or he just got to learn how to repair a motorcycle. He just know that a poor girl from a tribal background, and she understands, she knows to make a craft, and she is doing the business of the small business, selling the fruits, selling the vegetables, repairing or maintaining the mobiles, the television. And if she or the boy, he wished to have some money to expand his business, requires some capital. If the banking facility or this Mudra Yojana were not there, he used to go to a money lender and take loan on higher interest, which he was unable to pay. And he just got in a vicious circle of money lenders. Or if he had a bank account, then he had to go to the bank, and bank used to ask him about the collateral security. And a young boy, a college graduate, or a girl from a tribal background, he just go to his father and request him that, would you please give me the papers of our household? I wish to place them in the bank and get some loan for my business, to develop my business. Imagine the poor father who had doubt in the capacity of the young kids. He says, sorry, I cannot trust. This is the home I have built with the savings of my life. Throughout the life I have saved a little amount of money and have built this house. And the young boy, he is demotivated. And our Prime Minister understood this. And he started this Mudra Yojana. And in this Yojana, any young entrepreneur who wishes to expand, who is doing any sort of small business and wish to expand his business, he can go to the bank and avail the credit facility without any collateral security, without pledging anything, without any guarantor. He just had to go to the bank and show his project, his books, that what business he is doing, his future plans for the business, and he can avail the loan. As Honorable Finance Minister he has stated, and the banking officials have also told, and we have seen in the presentations also that there are three categories, up to 50,000, up to 5 lakhs, and up to 10 lakhs. He can avail the business, avail the finance, and expand his business. And we have seen the success stories in the presentations. But the story doesn't end here. If a young entrepreneur wishes to further expand his business, and he requires more capital, then he can avail the facilities of the Stand-Up Yojana, the Stand-Up scheme, where he can get the finance of rupees 10 lakhs to 1 crore. You just see the statistics. Out of the total 9 crore and 31 lakhs loans disbursed under Mudra Yojana, 76% of the loans were disbursed to the young entrepreneurs coming from humble background, either from scheduled class or scheduled tribes or the other backward classes. And more than 56% of them were women, that the lady, and as today is the world is celebrating the Girls' Day, I think that this is the best time to say that our government have empowered the women of the country. 4 crore entrepreneurs have been empowered. More than 5 crores girl entrepreneurs have been empowered by our government with this scheme. And if you say, speak about the statistics of Stand-Up Yojana, almost more than 30,000 loans were disbursed till now throughout the country, and hundreds and hundreds of young entrepreneurs, they have been benefited, they have scaled up their business. Banks' exposure to informal economy was merely 1.7% earlier. One can see a problem when we see that nearly 98% don't fall under the banking parameters. 90% of unorganized sector didn't have any bank account. Informal economy is worth 11 lakh crores. In thus, one can imagine the amount of revenue loss due to non-tax compliance. How can India become a superpower with more than 90% of its economic engine not being under the financial umbrella? A great Mizo proverb goes like this. Athalam Kawang, Athalam Kwang, Achowa, Acheram Kwang, Afai. It means the right path is very steep upward. The wrong path is horizontal. The government has shown guts to do the right thing. We have taken a steep road ahead, and we believe that the results that we are aiming at shall show in a few years. California in USA, it was a barren land before an enterprising government set its sights on making the technology capital of the world. Even after so many years, the Silicon Valley has thousands of tech companies. Today we are creating crores of the Silicon Valleys. It has thousands of tech companies. Today we are creating crores of the Silicon Valleys around the world, country, and we are sure that the gigantic force of such an endeavor shall be felt in the coming years. And when that comes, India will not only applaud the steep climb, but shall be more than willing to take big decisions and tough decisions with respect to policy framing and financial reforms. You might have seen the details of the Forbes list, which comes every year, which is published every year. And they publishes the list of thousands or 500 billionaires around the world. And if you see, only one billionaire is registered from scheduled caste, that is Rakesh Saharia, in that list which is published for the India. And I am sure that by this entrepreneurship development programs and our outreach programs, this financial inclusion, in the future, after 20 years, I can see down the line, when the Forbes is going to publish at least 300 tribal women or tribal boys or boys coming from a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe background or from other backward classes. They will be enlisted in that Forbes list, and almost 3,000 millionaires will be there, 30,000 millionaires will be there, and that will be the success and end of the story. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. To bring our program to a close, we shall now invite Mr. Digmanu Chaudhary, Regional Manager, SBI Aizawl, to propose a vote of thanks. Lunatong vote of thanks to Digmanu Chaudhary, Regional Manager, SBI Lalsawta.
Shri Gajendra Singh Sekhawat, Minister of State, Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India.